linebackers, I will meet you there. I will absolutely meet you there. And with the rise of podcasting and NFL Film Breakdown on Twitter or whoever the account is, with the rise of those and everybody trying to make money, is there more silly season material out there than ever before? Yes, I will grant you that. Absolutely, I will grant you that. But in the era of cancel culture, you're shocked people are giving anonymous quotes? Like, guys, we're only going to get more of those, not less. Rock the bank with me at 9 a.m. Grab an extra $1,000 to start your week out. We'll continue those words all day. I pass out the first every morning. I just saw it. I thought it was. Apparently, it's true. Ezekiel Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys have decided to agree on terms that will bring Zeke back to Dallas. That's a little bit of a weird situation. I just saw that this morning. I was unaware of that. I did not know. Over the weekend, I decided to watch Thank You, Good Night. And if you're unaware, that is it's a 4-piece docu-series about Bon Jovi. And I am what most people would call like a casual Bon Jovi. Obviously, growing up, Slippery When Wet was a huge record. I'll never forget how big that record was. I believe I was in 5th grade when that record like broke, when like Living on a Prayer kind of broke out. I believe I was like in 5th grade. And they were like the Nickelback of the time, right? There were heavy metal bands who weren't getting enough attention. Then there was the LA Strip thing, and Bon Jovi kind of fit more into that, even though they were from Jersey, obviously, and not the Strip. But they had all the hair, and their songs had all the polish. And they were your girlfriend's favorite band. And plenty of dudes were like, oh, like Bon Jovi. And like the funny thing is now is that all of those guys would be like, yeah, man, those early Bon Jovi records, right? Like now that it's not like, well, I care what my friends think, and we're no longer in high school, and I'm not going to be made fun of at the bus stop anymore. All of a sudden now you can be a Bon Jovi. You're allowed to be. And so I watched it. I don't really believe that if you're a fan of most things, are you really going to learn anything? There's no Kiss documentary that's going to teach me. I already know everything. I'm too much of a fan. I've read all the books. I've seen some stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I know what's going on with that band. Bon Jovi's not one of those. I know the songs. I know the first 2 records. And then after that, I'm kind of out. I didn't really necessarily... I like Bon Jovi when they were Bon Jovi. When they became the Goo Goo Dolls, I was like, yeah, I don't need this, right? That's just not for me. And what's weird about that is, I like the Goo Goo Dolls. They're fine. I mean, they're not necessarily my favorite band. I'm like, yeah, this is my jam right here. That's like that, but they're fine, right? They're okay. But when Bon Jovi became the Goo Goo Dolls, I was like, yeah, I don't need this, right? We already have this. I don't need another version of this. But I actually think those first 2 records, they're not the first 2. They're 7800. Obviously, that the band skips over themselves, and there was the EP. But like the first 2 major label releases, which are Slippery When Wet, and then New Jersey. Like those are like the big records for that band. They're not the first, but they're the big records for that band. I mean, they're stacked full of good songs, stacked full of hits. So I was like, all right, I'll watch this because I don't know everything about it. And I was like, I'll maybe learn some stuff. And so the first 2 episodes, they're about 45 minutes apiece. So much of it is about his vocal struggles and him telling you that if he can't be his best, he's not going to do it anymore. But at the end of it, he's going to keep doing it. It's like, John, you can't really do it at the level he wants. Even after the vocal surgery, and I think he should have had it. He needed to have it. And it got better, but it's not what it once was. Like, it isn't. People age and they get older. Welcome to it. This is where backing tracks kind of come into it. This is where other touring musicians join the band, and you're like, why isn't so-and-so there? It's because they need somebody else to sing the hooks in the background to thicken out the sound. That's why so-and-so ain't there. That's why that homie right there is there, right? Like, that's why that's a thing. So I watched it, and it was like, and I like most of those documentaries early. Show me the struggle, show me the thing, and sure enough, I don't care what anybody thinks about me, but so-and-so told Richie Sambora he was never going to make it. And then so-and-so told John Bon Jovi he was never going to make it. Oh, my God, wouldn't you know it? All 11 record labels told Bon Jovi they would never make it. They didn't have the sound. So what did they do? Went back, worked hard on it, crafted it, and then showed the world how wrong they were. I don't care what anybody thinks about me. Now watch as I take my entire goddamn career and make it about proving you wrong. Because I don't care what anybody thinks. It is my favorite statement in the world, baby. It is my favorite. Because everybody's lying when they say it. So the first two were kind of great, because here's the young, hungry John Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora, kind of getting it together. Oh my God, how did they write Wanted Dead or Alive? How did we do this? How did we do that? And it's kind of good. Then you get to the third one, it's like, all right, here we go. It's like a little later in the career. They're now your mom, instead of your girlfriend's favorite band, it's the mom's favorite band, Bon Jovi now, right? That whole kind of thing. And then the fourth one is all about how we don't need Richie Sambora. He always sucked. He didn't really do much. Leave him out of this. So apparently he is unhappy with how he's being perceived in this docuseries. Bro, the band is called Bon Jovi, which is, well, his name is Bon Jovi, and they changed it to just, be, and then split it to be two words, and they actually get into it in the documentary why, and the label was like, you got to do this, otherwise this is going to be confusing, don't have it be this, it's got to be this, and they kind of went that way, and kind of did all that. What did Richie Sambora think you were going to get here? The Richie Sambora is amazing? Like, is that what you thought you were going to get here? Have you never seen an episode of Behind the Music ever? Like, have you never seen one of these? The front man always gets the credit, no matter what. And then when you take the fact the band is named after the front man, what you think was going to happen? You've been out of the band a decade, I think it is. What you think, John was going to sit there and talk about how great you are? The shows are selling. The albums are selling. People are coming through the gate to see him. If he were suffering without you, there would be a little bit more, and Richie did this, and he contributed this, and that, because then the docuseries would be about softening you up to get you to come back. That's not what it's about anymore. Like, it's not about that. The show has gone on without you. It's kind of like, I've said this about bands from the beginning. Most guitar players write a lot of the records you listen to, but nobody cares because you're not singing it. The singer is the one who, 90% of people that go through a concert gate don't know a damn thing about bands. Most of them, honestly, most people are just being dragged with a friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever the hell it is, and they're going along with it. Most people aren't even trying to go. They're just kind of going with some other people that happen to be going. They know 5, 6 songs, and that's why you hear the hits from the stage. It's My Life. You know what I mean? Here comes Shot Through the Heart, right? Here comes all this kind of stuff, and that's what they give you. That's what they give you. Most people think the singer does everything. Now, part of it is because back in the late 70s and early 80s, the record labels knew that was the way to do it. Make people buy the magic of it, not just the song. Have them buy into the wonderment of the world of it, not just the song. Once they start figuring out singers really just show up on the last day and be like, all right, this is what you want me to sing. Now, Bon Jovi writes a lot. He does. That's the wrong guy to say that about. But in a lot of bands, the singer's not really doing a whole lot. The musicians are writing, and then the pretty boy goes out there, struts his stuff, sticks his sock down the front of his pants to make it look like he's carrying a hammer, and then sings soprano, and then everybody goes like this. Everybody gets their treat, you buy your McMansion, and then you move on. But like, Richie, what the hell did you take part of the docuseries for? Did you think they were going out there to try to make you look as good as humanly possible? They didn't. And by the way, with that awful hairpiece you got, nobody can make you look good. By the end of the hour, I'll get you in the Sonic Temple. That show kicks off May 16th. And we got tickets for you, 4-pack, as a matter of fact. We'll be doing that all week. 7:45, I'll get you hooked up. All right, so I saw something the other day. I saw a headline, and I was like, I don't like that. And then I read it. I was like, oh, I have less of a problem. And it's because it's being referred to as more than one thing. Travel. And I want to talk about how important travel is, although it makes me feel a little crazy because I don't do it as often as I should. I have for a while dated a woman who you have to drag out of the house to go do anything, let alone go see something, travel, go do some things. Like, she's just, I don't know what it is. Like, she's a fun person who doesn't really want to go anywhere ever. And we're kind of similar like that. Like, I don't want to go to my friend's house on Saturday night to play cards, but I want to go to Colorado for the weekend, right? Like, that's who I am as a person. I'm kind of like that. we're a little different, right? I think travel's important. I think seeing new places, new experiences. Oh, I'm less afraid of that now. I've been there. I've seen that. I've shaken hands with that person. Not as scary as I thought, right? I think travel can absolutely be important. I was upset when I saw this headline because they said solo travel is what people are looking for most in a new trip. And I was like, well, that's terrible. I've been talking about this for the last handful of years, and I'm not the only one. We have become too self-obsessed. We've become too insular. We've become too selfish. And nobody else should share my experiences. And I want you away from everything. And I am only doing this. And I want to be here with my family and don't want anybody else anywhere near us, right? We've become a little too much like. But that's not what this actually means. They say it's actually just quiet life travel is what people are looking for. Not solo, they're looking for quiet life travel. Or another article is calling it wellness travel. They say that's going to take over this year. You're busier than you were before. You're more stressed out than you were before. Things are more expensive than they've ever been. And times are tough. And so people kind of want to break from that. So people who can afford a vacation are looking to get away from all of that. Otherwise known what a vacation should be, a break from all of that. They say the crowded cities that people used to flock to for vacations aren't really going to be the thing this year. Look for people to be off the beaten path. That's what they're looking for. Quote, quiet life travel is this year's hottest craze as people are searching for a quieter, more serene lifestyle. Of course. Yeah. Now, if you take your cell phone to that quiet, serene place and you spend all day scrolling X, Instagram, Snapchat, and Amazon, then I don't know what the hell you did it for. But because that's what we do all day, every day, do I understand people yearning for something else? Absolutely. That makes all the sense in the world. Since last year, searches for quiet places and calm places have increased 50%. Quiet life gained over 430,000 more interests this year. This is online impressions compared to 2023. As more users are in need of a digital detox and yet go to digital devices to find out how to get one. It's kind of awesome. It's not that hard to get a digital detox. It's really not. Just don't use it. Just don't do it. I know. Easier said than done. For me too. I'm probably more addicted to my phone than you are to yours. I bet it wouldn't even be close, as a matter of fact. Many interested in quiet life want to do it by themselves as solo travel is on the rise a little bit. This I don't understand at all. I really don't get it. I think about winning the lottery a lot, right? Like I see $1 billion Powerball, I'm like, I want to win that. And relationship status is always up in the air. But like when I'm single, if I think about hitting the lottery, I think about, all right, well, I got to go to Vegas. And so I'm going to, but I got to go there. I got to give her money. I got to give my brother money for taking care of my mother for the last 25 years. I got to spend some time with them since I'd see my family once every 2 years. And my mom's going to die any day now. So like, I think about this a lot actually. And I'm like, all right, so I got to get out there. I got to spend some time with her. But if I'm single and I win all this money, what do I do after that? Well, you go here, you go there, you go there. And I think to myself, alone? Most things you don't want to do by yourself in a vacation. You don't know anybody. You don't know where you go. Just the other day, we were talking about how people have a difficult time going and eating in a restaurant in your hometown by yourself. If you can't make it through a dinner at a chain restaurant in Canton by yourself, trust me, you should not travel on your own at all. If you've never lived alone, I don't know how you're traveling by yourself. Now, maybe that's why you did it. As I opened that door, I just thought, well, maybe that's exactly why you did it. My parents were constantly noisy. So when I'm looking for a break, that I could maybe see. I think the other 4 people you live with are like, wait a minute, we're all crammed in this house 5 deep because none of us can afford life and you're going to Cancun by your damn self? I think there's going to be that conversation. You come home to your roommates, but that's a separate thing. What are you going to do by yourself in a town that you don't know anybody? Most people aren't wanderlustish. They're not. They want to go home from work early. That's not the same thing as having wanderlust. Life is about experience and sharing said experience. What do you want to do? Well, I don't really feel like doing that, but she does. Let's go. And then next thing you know, she drags you to it and you had a good time, or vice versa. And then you get back from vacation. It's like, yeah, man, she wanted to do that. I got to tell you, I thought it was going to be crazy. She's not liking as much as she thought, but I loved it, right? And there's a little bit of that back and forth. Joy comes from spending time with other people. By myself a lot. Again, sometimes my relationship forces me to do that because she won't do any damn thing. And so, except for go to South Carolina for vacation once a year and not take me. Well, other than that. So, but I have to do a lot of the stuff alone. I don't want to go, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Then I'm like, it's 330-450-7625. Send a text to the studio. You can also find me on the microphone talkback button on iHeartRadio too. Easy though. For February. Like, why the weather's good. It's finally warm in Ohio. Beat it. And it's like, no, dude, when there's snow on the ground is when I think most people would want to get it. And I think vacations are important. I have not taken enough of them in my life. I leave on the table every year multiple vacation days. I never take them. There's something, I mean, we've talked about this. This is not a me thing. This is an America thing, apparently. That people feel guilty taking the time off. And that a lot of people out of feeling, well, if I'm not dedicated, they're going to move off of me. They'll learn to live without me. So stay chained to the board, stay chained into your cubicle and the like. There's worse about it. I have the best quality of life bosses I've ever had in my life currently. Literally will come in here at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, like, what are you still doing here? Get out of here, dude. Go enjoy your life, right? And so I don't have it so bad now. But I had been kind of trained as to not, take more time away from the studio. But vacations are important. They're restorative. It's like another version of sleep, right? And I think staycations can be great, as long as you're doing something. I don't think just going to a destination means you're having a vacation either. You ever hear this saying? I'm sure you have. I've said it a million times, and I'm not the first person. No matter where you go, there you are. And what it means is Los Angeles isn't going to change you as a person. Not on a 2-week vacation. If you're the kind of person who doesn't like to do things, I don't care where you are and how much there is to do, you're not going to want to do it. You'll hear this a lot. There's nothing to do here. Is that true? Or are we just assuming there's nothing to do here? We don't take the time to investigate in what there could be to do here. The time we have set aside to do things, we decide that television is more important. Social media may be more important. Shopping may be more important than doing these other things. I don't think that means there's nothing to do. There's plenty to do. Here being Ohio, Canton, wherever. No matter where